Today is Holy Thursday, and we have as a special added bonus on our SSJ at home during this Easter Triduum this year, an appearance by Father Pat each day, who will talk to us a little bit about the days of this holiest time of year. Today, of course, Father, welcome. And today's the Holy Thursday and the Mass of the Lord's Supper, and it's time that we focus on this significant part of the Christian calendar.
Yeah. Yeah. So our celebration of the Triduum, the high holy days of the year. Triduum, of course, means 3 days. That's 72 hours, right? Starting from tonight, from Thursday evening, going until Sunday evening. And it starts tonight with the celebration of the Mass of the Lord's Supper, where we do celebrate the fact that the Lord instituted the Eucharist. And these services are the most important services, the most important Mass in all that we have throughout the year, and it's really to just bring us completely into God's love. That's what this whole celebration, that's what the Easter celebration is all about. That's what our faith is all about. Is just coming into God's love. You know, God made us in his image. He made us to love. He made us to be loved and to join him in that love. But, unfortunately, at times our hearts get hardened. And when our hearts get hardened, it's hard for us to love. It's hard for us to receive God's love, to receive love from others. And it's hard for us to express that love. It's kind of like our hearts are made of wax. And God's love is like the sunlight hitting down upon that wax. And when God's love hits that wax, it melts away. And God's love can penetrate deep into our heart, filling us with his love so that we can love others. But at times that wax turns to clay and becomes hardened. And then the more God's love hits that, the more the sunlight hits clay, the harder it gets. And so we get into this kind of downward spiral where our hearts are just hardened, and they just keep hardening. And especially over this last year, we've had lots of opportunity for our hearts to start hardening, with all the frustration and complacency setting in. And at times when our hearts just in little ways start hardening like that, we need significant changes, significant things happening in our life that'll explode, that'll cause that clay to break up, that'll expose the wax so that God's love can penetrate deep into our hearts. And that's what this Triduum celebration is all about. It's just once a year to give us this whole celebration that just changes us and affects us so that we can go forth. And particularly we start tonight with the Mass of Holy Thursday, and the church presents to us this wonderful opportunity to connect with God's love. Of course, the whole service centers around the institution of the Eucharist, the greatest sacrament, the greatest form of God's love that we receive. But it's interesting in this service. We read John's Gospel, where about the washing of the feet, and we imitate that washing of the feet, because that is God's love in action. And Jesus tells us to go and do as he did, right? To wash each other's feet. And that's the wonderful part about this Holy Thursday service, is that we do have the opportunity to, yes, actually wash each other's feet. Even this year, people will be invited up within family units, households, groups that feel comfortable, where you feel comfortable washing each other's feet in a way that recognizes the protocols, recognizes the risk from COVID, but keeping us together in family units and households and washing each other's feet, but just challenging us to reach out to each other. It's just a symbolic way, but to reach out to each other and to serve each other in the most humbling of ways by washing each other's feet. It just goes to help us to penetrate that hardening of our heart, to just turn us over to God's love, to just kind of shake us up, give us that opportunity to receive God's love. Of course, tonight with this, we start our Triduum celebration, and throughout the Triduum, we'll have our Holy Week missions going on. We invite you to come and participate in our Holy Week missions, not just the Triduum liturgy services, but we'll have service projects going on, the loaves and fishes, sushi and sock, the Easter food baskets, the guardian angel to penetrate deep into our heart, to kind of explode, blow away the hardening of our heart that we have had over this last year, and to just open us up to receive God's love in the most full way as we celebrate the passion and resurrection of our Lord.
7 o'clock tonight on the Mass of the Lord's Supper. It will be celebrated in the church and also via live stream on our live stream.